Hello guys, and welcome to this video. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at something in Python called the Pickle Module. So Python provides several ways to store and retrieve data, but when it comes to saving complex objects like dictionaries, lists, or even trained machine learning models, things get a little bit difficult. This is where the Pickle Module comes in. Pickle allows us to serialize Python objects, that is, converting them into a byte stream and later deserializing them into usable objects. It's like freezing your variables in time and reviving them whenever needed. So let's take a look at how the Pickle Module works. So the Pickle Module works in two ways, that is serialization and deserialization. So serialization is also known as pickling. So that is basically converting Python objects into a byte stream that can be stored in a file or sent over a network. And we also have the deserialization or unpickling, and this restores the object back to its original state. So let's take a look at a quick demonstration of how pickling works, or the Pickle Module works inside of Python. So to use the Pickle Module, first we have to import it inside of our script. So I'll import pickle here. So after importing pickle, I'll create a sample dictionary. To create the sample dictionary, I'll create a variable called data, then set it to a dictionary of name key, setting it to Alice, age key, setting it to 25, then city key, setting it to New York. Now let's take a look at how we can serialize this dictionary. To serialize the dictionary, I'll put a variable called serialize underscore data, then set it to pickle.dumps, bracket open, then I will insert the dictionary variable into this parenthesis. So the dumps will help us to serialize our dictionary. And so when we now print this variable, we see that it's going to return a byte stream on our console. That is how we can basically convert Python objects into byte streams. Now let's take a look at how we can deserialize this dictionary back to its original form. Now to deserialize this dictionary back to its original form, I'll create a variable called deserialize underscore data, then set it to pickle.dumps, bracket open, then I'll have serialized underscore data inside this parenthesis. So basically we are taking our byte stream, then converting it back to the original dictionary. And so when we now print serialized underscore data, you see that it's going to return our original dictionary on our console. So this process works with most Python objects, including lists, tuples, classes, and even trained machine learning models. Now that we now understand how the Pickle Module works in Python, now let's take a look at how we can save and load objects with the Pickle Module. Most of the time, we don't just convert objects to bytes and print them. Instead, we need to store them in files for future use. Let's see how to save an object to a file and load it back. Our obvious thing in our script to do first is to import our Pickle Module. Then after importing our Pickle Module, I'll create a sample object. So I'll create a variable called my underscore data, which is going to be set to a dictionary of key score that takes a value of 98 and a key of subject that takes a value of math. Now let's see how we can save the object to a file. Now to save the object to a file, we just type with open parenthesis, and inside this parenthesis we'll give the file name and the mode at which we are opening this file. So have data.pkl, and data.pkl is our file name, then comma, our write mode, or the mode in which we are opening this file. And since we are working with binary in Pickle, this will be WB or write binary as file, and we'll now have pickle.dump that takes in my underscore data from our file. So this will basically convert our sample object into a byte stream, then store it inside the data.pkl file. And so when we now save this and run it, and we open our folders, you see that we get the data.pkl file in there. Now let's take a look at how we can load the object back. Now to load the object back, we will still follow the same procedure in opening the file. So use with open, that takes a data.pkl file as the parameter inside this parenthesis, then We'll now take a look at how we are reading this file. So since we are working with binary, we are going to read this in binary mode. So have RP. So this will basically stand for read binary as file. Then we'll now have loaded underscore data equal to pickle.load. Then we'll now insert the file as the parameter inside this parenthesis. And so now when we print this variable loaded underscore data, you see that it's going to return this same sample object that we converted earlier into a byte stream. So that is how we can basically convert or save and load objects with the Pickle module. Remember I said earlier that pickling can also be used for machine learning modules. Machine learning models can take hours to train, so saving them with Pickle prevents the need to retrain every time we restart our program. So here's how we can use the Pickle module on a trained data using scikit-learn. So first, our obvious thing is to import our Pickle module. Then we import logic regression from our scikit-learn module. Then after that, we are going to create a sample module so that we can see how this works. So I'll create a variable called model and set it to the instance of our logic regression. Then let's now take a look at how we are going to train this module on some dummy data. So I have model.fit that takes in a list of dummy data here. Now let's see how we are going to save the module. Now to save the module, what we need to do is to type with open parenthesis. Then we'll now give the file name in which we are going to save our module in, which is going to be model.pkl. Then our mode for opening this file will be write binary. Then as file, then we'll now have pickle.dump that takes in module from our file. So we are basically converting this into a byte stream. Now let's take a look at how we can load this module back. Now to load this module back, what we need to do is with open parenthesis that takes in the same file model.pkl, then which binary we are reading this file from, and that is RB as file. Then we'll now have loaded underscore module, which is going to be equal to pickle.load parenthesis that takes in file. Now let's try to see how we are going to predict using the loaded module. Now to predict using the loaded module, I have loaded underscore module dot predict that takes in a parenthesis and a nested list of 3, 4. So when we run this, we see that we are going to get 1 on our console. So this method allows us to save a module after training and load or reload it later without retraining. So this is just the basic example of how Pickle module can help when using machine learning modules. Now let's take a look at some of the security risks and best practices when dealing with the Pickle module. So while the Pickle module is powerful, it has a major downside. So it can execute arbitrary code during deserialization. This makes it vulnerable to attacks if you load from untrusted Pickle files. So let's take a look at an example of how malicious code can be embedded or added inside a Pickle file. So first I'll import my OS module, and after importing my OS module, let's now create a malicious class. So I have a class of evil that takes in the reduce danda method and it returns os.system, parenthesis that takes in rm-rf/. So this will basically delete everything on Linux if this run successfully. So now let's take a look at how we can save this malicious object. Now to save this malicious object, have with open that takes in the file name of evil.pkl, then wb, then as file. Now have pickle.dump parenthesis. Now call our evil class, then with the file. So now when we now try to load this file, this will execute the command. So it's open bracket open evil.pkl as our file, then we'll be reading it in binary form, then as file. And so when we now have pickle.load bracket open file, this will execute the file when we run this. So this will basically delete everything on Linux if you're not careful about loading files from malicious sites. So let's take a look at some of the key tips to stay safe from loading files like this. So never unpickle files from untrusted sources. Consider using JSON for safer data storage when possible. Use Pickle to validate the structure of the data before loading it. Use restricted execution environment to prevent unwanted system calls. Just like I've showed you some of the downsides to the Pickle module, let's now take a look at some alternative methods to the Pickle module. So although the Pickle module is useful, other serialization techniques might be better depending on your use case. So we have one, that is the job lib. So this is best for large NumPy arrays and machine learning models. So let's take a look at an example of how to use the job lib. So first, we need to import the job lib module. After importing the job lib module, we now have joblib.dump that takes in our module and comma. We'll now have the pickle file, which is going to be module.joblib. This will basically save our module, and when we want to load it, we just have a variable module that's going to be set to joblib.load that takes in module.joblib. So this will load our module for us. So this is faster than the pickle for large numerical data, and this is used by scikit-learn for model persistence. So I recommend using this when dealing with machine learning models. We also have the JSON also, and the JSON is best for structured and human readable data. So let's take a look at an example. We will first import our JSON library, and after importing our JSON library, we'll now have a sample data, which is going to be a dictionary. Then we'll now have json.dump that takes in the data, comma, open. Going to open and write our data inside this data.json file. Then this will be in a write mode also. And so when we run this and we go to our folder structure, you'll see that we get this data.json file inside of our folder structure. So this is safer than the pickle, but does not support complex objects like models. So Python Pickle module is a simple tool that can help us to store and retrieve objects. Even though it is great for machine models, joblib will be recommended when dealing with large numerical data. So if safety is your priority, consider JSON or joblib instead. So that is it for this video. If you have found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more Python tutorials.